How's it going, everyone?
All right, everybody who's coming in, welcome to another Mustang Monday. I'm coming to you from the Cal Poly Admissions Instagram. I have my friend Max joining me. We're going to get started in just a minute, I think. So, yeah. Go ahead and drop in the comments where you're coming from. What kind of viewer are you? Are you a freshman who just applied? Are you a parent, supporter? Beautiful.
Oh,
Love to see the excitement.
Andy.
Awesome. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. My name is Abby Allen. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I'm from San Jose, California. I'm a third-year kinesiology major, and I also have a biological sciences minor at Cal Poly. And I'm coming to you today from the admissions Instagram. And then I also have a friend with me on the PolyReps Instagram. So Max, go ahead and introduce yourself.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Max. My pronouns are he, him, his. Go to Cal Poly, study biomedical engineering, and have a minor in finance from
Nice.
Lake Oswego, Oregon. So living down here in beautiful, sunny San Luis, California, and just enjoying the day. Excited to get to spend some time with you folks.
Awesome. Yeah, so go ahead, keep letting us all know where you are all from. And if you have any questions throughout this entire live, please let us know in the comments. We're going to try to be as attentive as possible. It's a little difficult to be talking and checking that, so we're going to do our best. But this is another Mustang Monday, and this one is going to be about what it's like to go to school in a college town. So we have a couple things we're going to be sharing with you all today, some personal stories, some things that we've just experienced in San Luis Obispo with it being a college town. And yes, we're just going to kind of jump right into it. If you have any questions, like I said, you can go ahead, throw them in the comments for us. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. So we're going to start with talking about San Luis Obispo. And San Luis Obispo is the city, and we also have San Luis Obispo County that Cal Poly is in. So we are Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. And so a little overview of it, you probably might not have heard of San Luis Obispo unless you know what Cal Poly is. And that is because we are a predominantly college town. So that means that there's 21,000 students that go to Cal Poly, and San Luis Obispo is only made up of, I think, 47,000. So we make up almost half of the population of San Luis Obispo. So we're definitely like everything in our town is kind of centered around Cal Poly. Everybody's really supportive of it. And so we're going to kind of talk about the community aspect that we felt. So Max, if you want to go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, so as Albie said, San Luis Obispo here is a college town. So the whole town kind of revolves around the college, and everyone here is there to support you, which I think is really cool and something that you don't always find in other places around the U.S. So when you're going to the beach, when you're going to get lunch downtown, wherever you're going, you're always going to be around with your fellow Mustangs, and that Mustang spirit is just so high here. People are always so excited to see college students, ask how your studies are going. But there's a lot of alumni who are here in San Luis Obispo, and those alumni are a big supporter group for us. So they're always supporting us, and there's always student deals and everything all around town. And there's just a lot to do here, and we're always out here helping out the community. One of my highlights here of being down here in this college town, I had the pleasure of working with a local student club, Empower, and we actually work with the community in making special devices for people with special medical disabilities. So one example of this, and one that I had the opportunity of working on my freshman year, which was just an incredible experience, I had the chance to, there was a local firefighter who developed throat cancer. And so he had a hole cut right here in his throat. And because of that hole, he couldn't fight fires. And that's how he supported his wife, his little girl, grandpa, firefighter, dad, a firefighter. Firefighting is what this gentleman loved to do. And unfortunately, throat cancer threatened to take it all away from him. So we ended up working with him and developing a custom respirator that would cover both his face and have a tube that would extend and go onto his throat. And with that custom respirator, he was able to put it on quickly to respond to emergencies. And we still service it today. So he's still fighting fires, able to support his wife and little girl.
Wow.
just like that was an awesome example that I remember where I just felt so connected to the community because the community really embraces you um, on top of the university. So here in Cal Poly, you're a student at the university, but also you're a resident here in the community, and the community is here for you. So I'll always have a little piece of home here in San Luis Obispo, and I'm really thankful for that.
That's so cool. I love that. Yeah, I love that we have so many clubs and classes that connect our students to what's going on in SLO. I've had a couple classes where I've gotten to actually work with people who live in SLO who don't go to Cal Poly, so it's been cool for me to also get to connect with them in that way. I did see a question about clubs, and I know that was one club that Max talked about that was kind of specific to something that he wants to do with his major and such. But I know that there's a lot of clubs that also do things in the SLO community. There's also, what's really cool is that we have a lot of clubs that kind of get students out into SLO, also doing a lot of different things. So like if you want to go hiking, like some clubs will go hiking together, they'll go downtown together, they'll kind of just go and explore and do fun things. So it's kind of cool to know that we have such a great place to make those things happen, which is super nice. So yeah. And like Max also said, lots of stores in our downtown also have student discounts, and they really try to support Cal Poly students. Also, sometimes clubs have like fundraising events that they'll pair with a restaurant downtown or a store that goes back to supporting those clubs. So there's just a lot of ways that Cal Poly clubs and students are just connected in that way. But yeah, we're also going to talk about some different events that kind of go on in the community that are either hosted by Cal Poly or by residents. And so, like I said, we are always looking for activities, things to do, and SLO brings such a diversity of fun things going on that I feel like I'm never bored. I don't know about you, Max, but I feel like there's always something new going on that I can go to, some new event, some fun creative thing that SLO is trying to make happen. But yeah, so do you want to touch a little bit on concerts, Max?
Yeah. So, like Abby said, at least my experience here down at Cal Poly, um, in my experience on the weekends, during the week, whatever it is, my experience has been I'm never wondering what I should do. I'm wondering what I should not do because there's just absolutely so much to do here in San Luis Obispo. People are always going to get burritos, going surfing, going to the beach, all sorts of fun stuff going on. So concerts are something that San Luis Obispo is really known for. We actually have a really nice music scene. Calplan Investing is also a good club. Uh, in the comments, I love to rep. But so with concerts, we have a great music scene here. So we have a predominantly student run. It started out as actually a student run music festival here called Shebang. And so that has local artists, and you kind of get to see the local music that students here are working on right alongside some big names like Bane's World was at one of our shebangs. There's like a funk safari where they have all these funk music, and that's a lot of fun time. And also at Avila Beach, we get a lot of really big concerts. So my freshman year, Zed came to Avila Beach, and that was like an awesome concert right there on the beach. All my friends, kind of everyone just like went last minute and ended up being an awesome time with the sunset there and the ocean and everything. So it was a good little time right there. And yeah, concerts here. We have Fremont Theater, which is an awesome little architecture and sort of cultural piece here in San Luis Obispo. But a lot of cool concerts here. So I saw
Yeah.
sports. Those are other fun events here. In general, San Luis Obispo is an awesome little sports scene. We have one of the largest soccer rivalries in the country between us and UCSD. And so everyone gets all ready and goes down to the Spanos Stadium and goes and enjoys. You have the sunset going on, the mountains here in San Luis Obispo in the background. You're there with all your fellow Mustangs, cheering on your Mustangs on the field, and getting to watch some good sports. Kind of reminded me of like a Europe soccer match.
Yeah.
Europe
It's
playing,
huge.
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of questions about clubs too. So I'm actually going to have someone drop a link for our club directory. I think they might have already dropped it in there. But oh, perfect. Cal Poly Investing. Thank you. Yeah, so there's a lot of clubs that you can just explore and check out. We have so many, like it was said in the comments. So yeah, definitely spend some time on that website because it's fun to just kind of explore and see the different things going on. Yeah, and another thing that we have, an event, I guess you could say, that the SLO community puts on are the farmers markets that happen. So we have a lot of different farmers markets. The most infamous one, I would say, is the one that happens in downtown SLO. I actually live on the main street called Higuera in downtown SLO, and that's where the farmers market happens every Thursday. And so it's been closed for a while because of COVID, but I actually think they're bringing it back like this month, which is super exciting. And so pretty much the farmers market, there's a lot of local vendors. There's Cal Poly clubs that sell their own produce and such. There's food vendors. There's a lot of different stuff going on down there. Corn on the cob. There's a bratwurst stand. There's tri-tip. There's like everything you could want ever downtown there. And so the farmers markets are super fun just to kind of go with your friends after class on a Thursday. Go and just kind of get invested with things going on in SLO. Another thing is that we have a lot of farmers markets in other cities also. So Morro Bay is a little town on the ocean. It's like 20 minutes from here. They have a really rad farmers market every Saturday. And I've gotten to go to it a couple of times. They have a bunch of cute like plant shop booths and coffee places, and also just a great way to kind of expand the places that you're going in SLO. So that one's also super fun. Max, do you have another farmers market that you've been to that you like?
Avila Beach Farmers Market.
Yeah, the Avila one is really fun.
Yeah, right there on the beach. You're with your friends, and for some reason, the tacos there are just next level. I love the tacos there at Avila Beach. And yeah, the farmers market is cool because I've just had some awesome conversations where I'm meeting the people who are actually growing the food that is going into my body, and like getting to learn about how they farm it and the steps they take to just produce the best produce they can. And so my freshman year, I remember they have a double-decker bus during non-COVID times that students up from campus. So freshman year, we hopped on the double-decker, which was a sight to see, quite the spectacle. Went downtown and bought some fresh honey from the guys who were growing it. So we were all on the honey grind and eating fantastic toast and biscuits and everything with some fantastic honey. We thought it would help our allergies. So I don't know if it did.
Did it help your allergies? I hope it did.
It tasted good. I mean, which is required. I'll have to get another one.
Nice. I love that. Yeah, so farmers markets are just so much fun. We could talk about them forever. But there's another thing that kind of goes on. I think somebody actually had a question about volunteering clubs, and we're kind of going to touch on that a little bit right now. So volunteering in the community is an awesome way to get involved because you're going to meet a lot of people who live here who maybe aren't involved with Cal Poly that you can just go connect with in really cool ways. So I have an example of something that I've done. I've done different homeless outreach programs in the SLO community. So I've gotten to meet a lot of the people who don't have houses here. And that's been a really cool way for me to kind of give back and for me to learn a lot about the climate of SLO as well and like what the needs are in SLO County. So that's been super cool for me. I know Max has done something as well.
Yeah. So one really cool thing that I did with actually two clubs is sort of a lot of our clubs like to collaborate because at the end of the day, we're all Mustangs. We're all one big happy family here. So Hammock Club and Swim Club, two fun active clubs here on campus. My freshman year, we did a beach cleanup. And so we all went to the beach, MDO, Montana de Oro, one of the state parks, and we did a whole little cleanup and then got to spend a day in the nice pristine beaches here on the Central Coast. And then most recently, I love doing my beach cleanups. I love keeping my ocean healthy. I like to enjoy it. So most recently, Hammock Club did another social distance beach cleanup. So we all were wearing masks and everything, and we went to Pismo Beach, and we were able to clean up that beach a little bit and spend a fun day enjoying the sunshine. So definitely a nice change up from cloudy Oregon in the middle of December. So a little day.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, and there's a ton of other groups on campus too that are involved with volunteering and such. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of chances to get involved in that sense. And it's just cool because it just kind of emphasizes again that like this is truly a college town, and that everybody who is wanting to get involved with Cal Poly students is just really supportive of us and everything that we're trying to do and all the good that's happening. So that's pretty cool to experience. But we're also going to touch on one more main thing, and then we're going to kind of answer some of your questions that we have coming in. But we did want to talk about opportunities for jobs and internships. And so, Max, if you want to start with this one, I'd love that.
Yeah, I'd love to. So, San Luis Obispo is honestly kind of a hub of industry, not like the typical, like maybe Los Angeles or San Francisco that a lot of people think of right away. But because we're located here in the Central Coast, we have both those giant tech hubs available to us. And so a lot of recruiting happens from both those places and now across the nation. So pretty much anywhere in California, everyone's going to know Cal Poly and just know and understand our reputation and the type of students that these Mustangs, these learn by doing students get to produce. And so a lot of really awesome internships. The career fair, I remember my first time walking in there, I was blown away. I walked into the rec center, into their basketball courts, and I got to see all sorts of businesses, SpaceX, Apple, Tesla, Adobe, list goes on. I was just honestly shocked that I could go over and talk to Apple and leave with an internship right then and there. And so they recruit from Cal Poly because they're looking for students from Cal Poly with our types of experience. Additionally, San Luis Obispo has a lot of really amazing jobs. I personally work at a winery in the Central Coast here, which is awesome. Get to just hang out. A lot of really cool people come through, and I get to work in one of the best wine countries in the world. But also, I have a lot of friends who do all sorts of things, like work at the local restaurants, which is fun because they always, if I ever want to make a burrito, I have my make me the best burrito. He knows what I like, and so he's just one of my friends here, lives on my street, and he's my burrito man. So yeah,
That's awesome.
fun things to do. Abby, you did a restaurant, right?
Yeah. So I worked at a restaurant actually my first year at Cal Poly, and I was able to take the bus down to downtown and work at a restaurant, make a little bit of money. It was super fun because a lot of my coworkers were people who didn't go to Cal Poly actually. So I got to meet a lot of new people, just kind of got to also meet some families that would come through, which I think is so fun because like, I think sometimes we get caught up and we forget that there are a lot of families in SLO too. So it's fun to kind of get to know them and kind of feel like you have a second home here in SLO. And I think that's cool is that we actually have a lot of coffee shops in SLO. And so a lot of my friends are baristas, and it is the best thing ever because I love coffee. And so it's also cool to have friends that are working at the local coffee shops, getting to know the local business owners, and just kind of supporting small businesses and stuff like that as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, another thing to throw in there, we have a pretty large entrepreneurial program. So a lot of small businesses make San Luis or call San Luis Obispo home. And so we have a lot of student-run projects that have then grown to become full companies or maybe still stay small. So I know some students here, shout out Carly McGillis, a fellow poly rep. She makes these croaks that are little sunglass holders, and she sells them through the virtual farmers market. But another awesome place to go are a lot of student-run businesses here. So if you ever come to San Luis Obispo, Giuseppe's is an Italian restaurant that started actually as a senior project here.
Mm-hmm.
You might have heard of Cliff Bar or Jamba Juice, Yerba Mate. Those were all student-led projects. So they started here and they were supported by the university and then got to grow with the resources and education they had available to them from the college town here in San Luis Obispo. And now they're all across the nation. So just a fun little thing to consider.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I'm seeing some cool questions come in. What is it like balancing school and work? Great question. Everybody's different. And at Cal Poly, we typically say 25 to 35 hours of studying outside of your classroom time on top of everything else that you want to do in life. So definitely balancing working part-time, or I have some friends that work full-time, which is crazy, but just know school is your full-time job. Yeah. So school is, the reason that you're here. So if you can incorporate work into that, like, great job. So proud of you. But if not, it's okay because a lot of students don't work as well. So it's there if you want it. We also have work study at Cal Poly. That's another opportunity for students. So if you need to be involved with that, there's also the option for that, which is really cool. I'm seeing a lot of things about clubs. Clubs as a freshman, I would just say start slow and like try out different clubs. Just because you go to a club meeting for the first time doesn't mean you have to commit to like going to every single thing for that club. So I would just say, try out as many as you feel comfortable with. Max, do you have anything to say on that?
Definitely, like if you're feeling overwhelmed, you can always cut back on a club. It's not like an obligation. I personally, freshman year, just dove in, and I was blown away with how involved I was able to get. So my first year, I went to the Astronomy Club, even though I don't major in anything related to space engineering. I just thought space was cool. And in the Astronomy Club, they actually took me to watch the SpaceX rocket launch here on the West Coast, which just happened 40 minutes south of San Luis Obispo. And so I got to see Elon Musk's rocket shoot up in the air and land itself, which was crazy. Additionally, you get free pizza. A lot of the clubs have free pizza. And if you're just looking to get some food and just hang out and meet some cool people with similar passions, you can just show up and eat some pizza and learn some things and then meet some people. And so I always think that's a fun little way to go about it.
Yeah, I love that. We also have a club showcase, which happens at the start of every year. And so that's another way to just even like learn about clubs and get information if you don't even know about a lot of them, and just kind of get knowledge about them, which is super cool. A couple quick things that I'm seeing. All seniors have to do a senior project. Yes, food on campus is great. We just had a brand new dining complex called Vista Grande open. It's beautiful right as you're driving in on campus. I've tried the food. It's wonderful. I'm very impressed with it. Study abroad at Cal Poly. I think like 20% of students study abroad, which is higher than the national average. So we send a lot of our students abroad at Cal Poly. So it's definitely an option. We have a study abroad website where you can kind of explore all the different abroad options we have. That if you look up Cal Poly study abroad, hopefully you should be able to find it. But maybe we'll drop that in the chat as well. Yeah.
Just to touch on the food's good. The new Vista Grande Center. Brand new dining center, has just a gorgeous patio that has a sunset view, and fine dining restaurants incredible.
Oh yeah, I'm loving all these questions, everyone. Thanks for interacting here. We're looking at a couple more things.
Difficult to transfer majors. I guess to touch on that question, in my experience, it has not. One of my roommates transferred majors. And actually, one of our good friends, a poly rep, Kai Smith, he started out as a history major, then transferred to engineering. So what that process would look like is you likely speak to your advisors and the department chairs, and then you would initiate a transfer a major process, which can look if you're transferring within your college. So let's say your College of Engineering and you want to switch to another College of Engineering or a College of Liberal Arts and transfer to another college. That's going to be a little more intensive, where if you were just staying within your college, it would just be like a simple Google form and talking to someone. But across colleges, you just talk to people, the department heads, everyone here's here to help you out. So they're always going to support you in whatever you'd like in pursuing your passions.
Yeah, beautiful. Last one I think we're going to do is just dorm experience, maybe give a little insight into what that life is like. I love my time in the dorms personally. I only lived on campus my first year, and then I lived off campus the past 2 years. But something that's cool is also we have a whole video on this on our YouTube page, which you should definitely check out. But we do have free transportation for students via our bus transit system. And so pretty much you can get to a lot of places in SLO. I think within like 3 miles or so around here, you can pretty much get downtown a lot of places. And for me, freshman year, having that was super special because I was able to just go downtown and still be connected with my dorm friends, but we could all go somewhere as a group and kind of connect somewhere off campus as well, which I think is important about getting yourself integrated in the college town that SLO is. So yeah, Max, do you have anything on that?
Dorm life was awesome. I mean, I literally would go out I was in Sierra Madre, which is an awesome dorm, really tight-knit community there as part of the engineering, living, learning community. So it was awesome because I got to, a lot of my fellow dorm mates were in my same classes, and so we made sure to study together when those calculus classes were getting tough. I had some buddies to study with, but it was awesome. You'd go to the rec center and work out. Pretty much all times it was open. There was a beautiful sunset hike, the P, literally right out our back door. It was an awesome time just getting to live and hang out with friends. And so I love the dorms, and I actually live today with still some people who I met in my dorms and got along with really well.
That's awesome. I love it. All right, everyone. I see some more questions about some more specific things about some programs. You can always email admissions@calpoly.edu with any further questions you have. We're also dropping some resources in there about our YouTube channel. And yeah, we're going to be back here live next Monday with another Mustang Monday, more information for you all. But thank you so much for tuning in today. Max, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just some finishing final thoughts here, Dave. First of all, thank you guys all for joining. There was a question about if safety or slow is safe. I personally think my experience has been. Obviously, I come from being a demographic that's not typically having to worry about safety as much as other people, but that we do have a blue light system on campus, and so should anything arise that would make you uncomfortable, you can reach out to that blue light system and you'll pretty much have help on the way. And in general, I felt San Luis Obispo has been really safe. But to touch on and Abby, is there anything else you want to touch on that question specifically?
I second that. Yeah. I would say, like, for me at least, I've felt very safe and slow, thankfully, and I haven't heard of too many stories or experiences that have proven otherwise. So yeah.
And then to finish up with my why Cal Poly, I think my why Cal Poly boils down to three main things. One, it's an undergraduate focused university, so a little rare here. Most other universities, the way the sort of hierarchy set up is professors, postdocs, doctor students, grad students at the very bottom, undergrads, for how resources are distributed. But here at Cal Poly, it's pretty much professors, undergraduates. We do have a small graduate program, and those students are well supported, but the university, for the most part, is focused on your undergraduate success. So with other students who are passionate with, which leads me to number two, our extracurricular education is incredible. Our in the classroom experience is world class, but our club system, you're working with students who are passionate, interested in the same things you are. The school supports you. I had a friend who wanted to send boxes to space, so he started Weather Balloon Club. Cal Poly gave him the resources needed to buy weather balloons, bought weather balloons, and him and his friends launched weather balloons into space, and it was open to all students who wanted to get passionate about weather balloons and take some space photos. And then finally, San Luis Obispo, as we mentioned, is an amazing college town. It's an amazing place to live in at any point in your life. But getting to go here for my college experience has been an absolute treat. My schedule looks like wake up, go surfing, go work at a winery here on the Central Coast, go grab a sandwich. We have a bunch of sandwich shops, and Dutch Crunch bread is just fantastic. Or go maybe hike with my friends, hop on Zoom, go to class, and then in person go to class throughout the day, and finish the day with a nice sunset and rinse and repeat. So yeah, it's a fun time here. So that's my why Cal Poly.
That was beautiful, Max. Could not have said it better. I second everything he said. And personally, for me, the community is one of the biggest reasons that I chose Cal Poly. I knew going into it that Cal Poly made up a lot of San Luis Obispo, and that was super appealing to me just because of everything that we've been talking about today on this live. I think it's such a unique time to be going to college, and especially be doing it in a place that supports that college so strongly. So yeah. Again, thank you everyone for being here today. We hope you have a great rest of your Monday, and we will see you next week this same time.
Thank you.